Hello Voltheads, you are watching the self-proclaimed, sarcastically named Captain KeyForge, also known as PJ Broughton of the Steel City Snufflegators. So today I'm introducing you to my new series of videos. We're going to play King of the Monsters. So I'm going to take gigantic creatures onto the Crucible. I've got a deck with each of the three gigantic creatures to see how they all perform and judge them based on a few different criteria. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. As I say, I've got one of each deck. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one and why I purchased them, because none of them were actually pulls from decks. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Ultra Gravitron, which is Zorba. Zorba is a Gravitron deck, obviously. Also as well got Sanctum and Untamed. The reasons why I picked this deck, okay, so I had a look at Ultra Gravitron, and pretty much the point of Gravitron is archiving. When you play him, you archive the top 5 cards of your deck. Also as well, when you fight Reap, discard a card from your archive. If you do, purge a creature and receive each of its bonus icons. So I was basically looking for lots of archiving. So obviously Ultra Gravitron does a little bit himself. This deck also has Auto Encoder. After you discard a card from your hand, you can archive a card. Also as well, Sloppy Lad Work, perfect combination. Archive a card, discard a card. If Auto Encoder's out, archive the card because of that. Munchley, another card that interacts with your archive. Qmex, again, another card that interacts with your archive. Lethal Logica is a great card for basically trying to get to Ultra Gravitron, because one of the things I want from these decks is to actually play the gigantic creatures, and Lethal Logica should help that. We've also got Purify, gives me a chance of removing some mutant creatures. Charge is a bit of board control, because board control, we all know that is very important. I love that card, the Vault Keeper, your amber can't be stolen. Also as well, Resurgence is very good. I love it. It's better than Regrowth. I'm really happy to see that. Dark Fairy, Mutants, so a couple of those. Good chance of getting those and other things back with Resurgence, and also Lost in the Woods. So yeah, that was Zorba. This is Artifox. This is Deusillus, along with Sanctum and Untamed. I picked this one because I actually found someone who was selling both Deusillus and Niffle Kong decks, which was going to save me a little bit of postage. So I had a look at the Deusillus deck. Deusillus just captures all the opponent's amber when you play him, and obviously does a lot of damage. I picked it just because I like the Curiosaurus card. It combos well in terms of getting amber off my Saurians and onto my opponents. So I like that card, so I was happy to see that card with it, because it will cure. Fang's Gizzlehot is a purge card, obviously, purges your opponent's creature's smite. So again, it's got good creature control. Lost in the Woods again, but I was thinking that the Curiosaurus will help bring all my opponent's amber onto Deusillus, but then I can sort of try and send it back to them, whereas I can try and spread it out. But again, you've got Prefectus Ludo to move Destroyed Amber to the common supply. Cornison Octavia captures, so looked a decent deck with a bit of everything, apart from, unfortunately, the artifacts. Now this one is Niffle Kong, this one's Queen. Again, I bought it from the same chap as the Deusillus deck, so I was saving some postage. He had a few different ones for sale, but for me, this one was Niffle Kong just plays creatures. You play Niffle Kong, you pull out every Niffle Ape and every Niffle Queen, every Niffle card you've got, and put them all down. So again, it was like, how can I get Niffle Kong into play? And oh, look at that, he's got double Resurgence. So it might only have 2 Niffle creatures, but with 2 Resurgences, each one of those could potentially pull both halves of the Niffle Kong back to my hand and allow me to play it down and get all the Niffles out. Also as well, Orb of Wonder, a search card. So couple Orb of Wonder with its coming and the dual Resurgence, and I I expect to get Niffle Kong onto the field with this deck. Also, so I've got creature control, we've got Fangs of Gizzleheart, which is nice, standardised testing you can see. Kronos is really good because it's actually enhanced with draw itself, so when I play Kronos I archive a card. Also you've got double Keitho the Adventurer, both of which have got a draw icon on them. So Kronos, Keitho the Adventurer, Fisher Bloom can build up a bit of an archive, as can the QMEX and the Research Smoko. So while it's got a low score, it's got the potential to build a really good archive. It has got some creature control options. Mutagenic Serum's great for a bit of house cheating. And yeah, it's got a chance to steal, a chance to capture with the double front of the eyes. Artifact control thanks to Niffle Kong. And despite the fact that it's a low score, I actually think it's got a chance. So the way I'm going to measure these 3 decks is I'm going to measure them based on how many wins they can get, then how many keys they can get, and then also as well how many times the gigantic creature gets played, because the point of buying a gigantic creature deck, if it's not the best SAS in the world, is to basically play the gigantic creature and get it onto the board. So that's what we're going to measure. I'm also going to play against the same deck every time we play as well. So Zorba, Quinn and Artifax will play against the same deck, and then they'll play round 2, and again it'll be a different deck this time, but each one of them will play the same deck once to try and make it a little bit more comparable and try and make the stats a little bit more actually fairer to each deck. Thanks for watching, so feel free to like and subscribe. I love comments and criticism, so please feel free to leave those. I'll hope to see you next time, but until then, may the Forge be with you.